Welcome everyone to another edition of Get Your Game On, the channel dedicated to immersive gaming experiences. Now, before we get into today's content, I just want to take a quick moment to thank everyone who's been using our affiliate links below. You guys have been amazing, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. So, Varjo just dropped the mic. They basically cut the price of the Varjo Aero in half. This thing is now less than $1,000. It's $990 or 990 euros if you're over across the pond, as it were. And I couldn't believe it. I would have thought if they were going to drop the price to compete, I would have expected maybe to go in line with what the Crystal came out with, at $15.99 or maybe $12.99. But no, they've dropped it actually to less than even the Big Screen Beyond. It's $990. The Big Screen Beyond is $999, I think. And this isn't just a promotional pricing either. This is the new permanent price of the Varjo Aero. So for $990, less than $1,000, you can now get into this premium headset experience. So I personally want to thank Varjo also for making my previous video where I reviewed the Pimax, making that already out of date. I'm going to go ahead and correct that here, but I'm more than happy to make that correction if it means more people can experience the high-end, high-clarity, high-fidelity experience of a premium VR headset. So for those of you that haven't seen my Pimax review where I actually compare a lot of the features, I only had a handful of scenarios where I really felt that the Pimax Crystal was a better headset to purchase. Now, one of those is obviously if you own an AMD video card, the Varjo Aero does not work with AMD, so you pretty much need to go with the Crystal. If you don't have lighthouses and base stations, well, the Pimax Crystal was inside-out tracking, so you don't need all those things, so that was a good choice, unless you were willing to purchase those things. And the other one is if you wanted wireless room scale, because the Aero is tethered, it's got a wire, and you're not going to be able to go wireless with it. So the other option was if you're doing a lot of productivity stuff, I think the desktop is a little clearer in the Crystal. And then the big advantage that the Crystal had over the Aero, to me, that really was only one really big advantage, was the field of view vertically. Horizontally is about the same, but vertically you had about twice the vertical field of view. So if that's important to you, or if you do experiences where that vertical field of view really helps, for example, for me, dogfighting is a huge one. Any kind of space combat or dogfighting, you're always looking up through the canopy. So for me, that was a big one. And again, I still recommended this for sim racers, and I still believe that. But I did get a comment that I was crazy and didn't know what I was talking about, because that person sim races most of the time, and they use overlays up above them. And so in the Crystal, they're able to look up and see it, versus this, they have to look up. Well, in that situation, again, if you need that larger vertical field of view, yes, the Crystal. Now, me personally, when I race, I don't have any of that overlay stuff sitting up there, because I like it to be as immersive and realistic as possible, so I don't use that. But that was a good point, that if you're using overlays or something where you're looking up, yeah, the Pimax Crystal, again, that vertical field of view is an advantage. Other than that, for the most part, even in my video, I said this is still, I think, a better purchase, because it's a much better build quality. I mean, this thing is premium features. And just for those of you that may not know the story of Varjo and where they came from, so unlike most of their competitors, Varjo actually got its start in the corporate world or business-to-business industry kind of thing. So they worked with the likes of Boeing, and they supply headsets to the Finnish Air Force for training. So they were in that world of corporate business stuff. And it was us gamers that got a hold of one of their headsets that they sold for them, and these were really expensive. But we basically begged them as gamers, please come out with a consumer-grade headset, and they came out with the Aero. And that's kind of how they got their start. So again, you're dealing with a headset here that's really geared toward, its DNA is based in corporate business-to-business realms, and the software, the Varjo-based software, reflects that as well. It's great software. So that's one of the good things. I love the fact this is a lot lighter. It's a lot lighter, and that helps a lot. And then it's also got that cooling fan in here. And what's really cool now with the price drop of, $1,000 price drop, well, that gives you some headroom that if you needed to buy lighthouses, even if you don't have them, if you need to buy lighthouses or if you need controllers, well, now you have a little bit of extra money that you can go out and buy those. And I'll put some Amazon links below for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, and those are affiliate links. So again, that'll help the channel as well. So, and honestly, if you're on a budget, you can get away with a single lighthouse. You don't need to. They recommend to. But if you get a single one and you put it in front, that'll work, I'd say, 95% of the time. The only time you get in trouble is if you're dogfighting and you're looking around, looking back, you could lose tracking. But for the rest of the time, one lighthouse in front will pretty much work just fine. And then controllers, unless you want to do room scale experiences, for simming, I don't even use my controllers. These buttons here allow me access to the menus, and then just, moving your head around allows you to select things. So I don't even need a controller when I'm using the Varjo Aero for simulation, like my racing or my flying. So those are some options for you. Now, anyone that's not coming from a high-end headset, like your old versions that have the Fresnel lenses, you're not going to believe the clarity you get from either this or the Pimax Crystal. It's just steps ahead. And what's kind of amazing, Varjo, this headset came out about 2 years ago, and we're just now getting to the point where, like the Crystal and the big screen and the upcoming Somnium VR1 are just now 2 years later catching up to the technology that this thing had 2 years ago. So to actually cut the price of this in half makes this a really good value proposition for those of you that want the high-end headset. It's an amazing time in virtual reality. Right now it's all about the Pimax Crystal and is it better than Varjo Aero and stuff. But just from someone that came up through the ranks, it's an amazing time that we have choices now that are giving us premium VR experiences that we could have only dreamed about, 5 years ago. And so the fact we actually have two headsets out here that give you that experience, it's a great time. And then hopefully we'll see what happens with the upcoming releases as well. So I just wanted to, number one, let everybody know this thing is now half the price. I also wanted to say thank you again for everyone that's used our affiliate links below. Really, really thank you for that. And we're going to basically, I think, start a new series where I'm going to take a feature. There's been so much interest in the Varjo Aero versus the Pimax Crystal. I think we're going to do little segments like this, and I'll take one feature, and we'll kind of compare the two and see who wins. So today, point goes to Varjo, and we'll see if they can keep that lead or not. So that's all I have for you guys today. Remember, if you like this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe below. Ring that little bell icon. And until next time, remember to get your game on.